There has been significant concern about the proposed central bank guideline on charges for use of ATM. This now means that any person who uses ATM, make use of ATM that's not his bank's ATM, will be required to pay 100 naira for any 220,000 transaction. And if you use it in premises outside the bank's premises, you'll be paying a surcharge of 500 naira per transaction. Now, this is really troubling because there's been a systematic increase of charges for everything. We are in an era now, a period where citizens are exposed to multiple increases of everything. Electricity tariffs are up, data, MTN, the telecommunication companies, with the approval of National Communication Commission, has increased charges for data for cost of call. And again, we're also dealing with, of course, over 500% increase in PMS costs. So everywhere, inflation, food inflation has, has blown off the roof. Now, customers, ordinary citizens, especially those who have fixed income, the tragedy of this multiple inflationary trend is that only those who are on fixed income, wages rises slowly, if at all. So these increases, people are paying all for all services from their limited income. And the impact of this kind of inflation is that it damages social welfare for the people. So I think people are aware. The central bank has said the reason for this increase in charges for financial services that the banks render to citizens or to their customer is because of cost of doing business. So the inflation, the knock-on effect of inflation, of the devaluation of currency, is that the banks also are saying that they need to increase the cost of their user fees for cost. Their cost is increasing, and therefore they want to externalize it to citizens. Well, we can say, well, maybe the banks have reason for this, but the real point is that all these changes, inflation impacts, all this impact from inflation, all this devaluation, impact from devaluation of currency, hits on the citizen. And the ordinary citizen, the urban poor particularly, have no mitigation, have no protection. The urban poor have no protection. They cannot pass it on to anybody. The small medium enterprises are being crushed, but at least they can pass it on to these same customers who are now stuck because they cannot arbitrarily increase their wages. So I think that the Nigerian citizen is under a crushing blow by the terrible policy, and it's inevitable. Once we have developed a currency and we are not an export-oriented country, and inflation is going up because of rising cost of energy, it means that everything will go up, and the guy who will suffer most is that little person, that farmer, that urban working class person who cannot increase his salaries arbitrarily, and therefore is stuck within a price taker. You just take the price of wage is given, the price of goods are also not in his control. And so also the fact that poverty is rising, and with this kind of brutal attacks on all sides in terms of whether it's financial services, energy, whether it's food inflation, brutal attack from all sides means that the quality of life of ordinary people keep on diminishing rapidly. Their real income decline geometrically, and they have no mitigation. And of course, there are no social security or social services which at least exempt from the impact of this rising costs. That's bad. And Abuja School would like to say that this calls for review. Government should understand that the banks have to be profitable to improve services, as the CBN claims. But again, how about the people who are neither getting quality service and now have to pay more? These are issues that the Abuja School would be bringing people together to look at, with a view to providing some policy, mitigations that will help, in improving both the environment of business as well as socio-economic well-being of the ordinary people.